Part 3. Face perception and pareidolia. Given that selective damage to the FFA causes selective impairments in people's ability to recognise faces, that is, prosopagnosia, this then begs the following question. If the FFA is essential for face recognition, is it also responsible for us perceiving faces in inanimate objects? Now, this tendency for humans to perceive faces in inanimate visual objects is known as pareidolia. There are many famous examples of this. In fact, I'm sure you've experienced it yourself. I'm going to highlight a study now conducted by 3 Australian researchers who decided to test this question. They are Dr. Susan Wardle, Associate Professors Jessica Torbett and Kylie Seymour. Their experimental paradigm involved functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI. While in the scanner, their subjects were presented with multiple stimuli. One block of stimuli were all known to elicit illusory face percepts, that is, pareidolia. This was followed by another block of stimuli containing images which don't elicit any illusory face percepts. They then ran a series of machine learning training algorithms on the brain activity in the various regions of the ventral stream, including the FFA. This training algorithm essentially correlates specific patterns of activity in a particular brain area with a particular class of stimulus. In other words, the main learning algorithm learned to distinguish whether an illusory face stimulus was presented or whether a non-face stimulus was presented, based entirely on the brain activity. This is often referred to as a neural mind reading paradigm. Armed with this knowledge, the researchers then presented an entirely new set of illusory face and non-face objects. Their question was whether or not their trained algorithm could now distinguish between these new illusory face and non-face stimuli. Impressively, they found that it could. Most importantly, they found that the brain area, which enabled this successful prediction or mind reading, was indeed the FFA. This provides strong evidence that the FFA is responsible for our perception of faces, even when the stimuli aren't actual faces. What information do we use to perceive a face? A simple idea is that face recognition involves analysis and comparison of individual local features like the mouth, the nose, the eyebrows, cheeks, etc. In the following perceptual demonstration, we're going to discover that this idea is far from complete. In this image, we see the upper region of 4 pairs of faces. As you can see, each pair of faces possesses identical eyes and eyebrows. Keep watching. As we slowly introduce the lower half of each face, you may notice that the upper half of some of these faces appears to change. In some cases, the eyes change their expression. However, the only physical differences here are the expressions associated with the lower half of the face. The upper half of each pair of faces remains physically identical, that is, unchanged. But you almost certainly don't perceive these upper facial areas as identical anymore. This illusion, known as the composite effect, implies that our perceptual analysis of local face features, such as the eyes, the eyebrows in this case, are compulsorily altered by the emotion of the face overall. That is to say, the global information overrides our local perceptual analysis. A similar interpretation can be applied to the Thatcher illusion that we saw in week 1, showing that the global orientation of a whole face can affect our perception of the local features of the face. Whereas the orientations of the local features which make up each face aren't all that obvious when the global face is inverted, The orientation of these local features becomes far more obvious when the global face is seen in its more normal upright orientation.